back when scientists were presuming that ocean acidification was a cause for the collapse of oysters in Willapa Bay, but they didn't have the science to support it. And Steve and I went out there, and we were among the first anywhere to really sort of put that together. And it became kind of clear rather quickly that this was a huge story. And then a couple times a year, he and I, we went back to oysters in Hood Canal. We went and looked at stuff the scientists were doing in the research labs in Montlake. And every year it just got more and more clear that this was a big story. And you know, other newspapers have written about oysters, other TV news programs have written about oysters, but it was so obvious that that was just the beginning of something huge. And at some point we just sort of said to ourselves and talked to our bosses about the idea that somebody's going to have to explain to everybody just how big a deal this is. And this seemed like the perfect opportunity to sort of go out and look at a grand scale and scope of a problem that's going to face everybody.
This is one of those classic stories where it's in your backyard because, you know, having worked on it now with Craig for 4 years approximately, and then going all the way across the world, halfway across the world, and having an Australian scientist say the epicenter of this story was on the Washington coast. And so, you know, it makes you feel good that we're actually on top of this story. So, yeah.
Yeah, in a way, it sort of felt a little bit like it was our responsibility, because you know, because it started here, it was something that people on the East Coast thought was sort of a curiosity. But for us, you know, we've got people who have industries and livelihoods already at stake, and they're already feeling the sort of initial phase of this, and they're like at the point of the spear. And it seemed like, you know, if we didn't do it, nobody was going to do it. And so that's part of the reason that we felt like we had to. But it's especially cool when you know it's important, and you can tell it's important, and that you can tell. I mean, I feel like Steve and I know as much about this topic as any other journalist. I mean, I don't think there are other journalists who know what we know. I can't think of too many people in this field that we haven't talked to at some point. And that's just cool. I mean, it feels like we are conveying the cutting edge research on a topic that's of importance, and that's what you get in the business for, and you don't get a chance to do it as often as you'd like. And when you do, you really, you know, it's fun and rewarding.